One of the most powerful Republicans at the state capitol is stepping down. Senate Minority Leader Len Fasano will not run for re-election. He's joining us now from his office in New Haven. And Senator Fasano, nice to see you, sir.
Dennis, it's good to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
And before we get to your political future, I want to just ask how you are coping with this coronavirus crisis. How has it impacted your life?
Well, certainly in my law practice, we've basically shut down except for telephone calls and reading emails. And then at home, we're practicing all the procedures that everyone is practicing, washing your hands constantly, social distancing. My daughter lives in New York. She came home and is living with us and doing her work through, through the video stuff and the conferences.
We know that the legislative session is on hold, but you being one of the leaders, I wanted to ask you, how involved are you in the day-to-day operations of the state in terms of how it's handling the coronavirus crisis?
Well, I would tell you, I think Governor Lamont is doing a good job. People are going to criticize and all the time, a 2020 hindsight type of idea. But I would tell you, this governor has been very open. His staff is tremendous. They're really good. They've talked to all the leaders. We have questions. They get back to us very timely. They take our suggestions, maybe not all of them, but a good portion of them. They let us know what they're going to do before they do it. I cannot say more kind words about the collaborative nature of this executive branch. They just did a great job of keeping us informed.
You know, in terms of being prepared for this coronavirus crisis, do you think the state was prepared?
I don't think anybody was fully prepared for the nature of what this is. Look, our Department of Labor is behind because we have a historic amount of filings for unemployment, and we've got to get to work on that and do a better job on that. But no magnitude across this country that we're all going through. I think people are doing the best they can, and so are the leaders. But no one could ever have drawn this conclusion, a year ago, even if you were warned that all these things are going to happen, the spider web of activity. And at the end of this, we need to go through and figure out what we did right and what we did wrong.
Are there any executive orders the governor has signed that you don't necessarily support?
Well, I can't look. There's some I may question, and there's some that I'd like to see do differently.
Such as?
Well, I think our social distancing is working. I think some of the permits and licenses all should be continued during this time. The restaurant permits that are coming up because they're year to year. So if a restaurant opened up today, their permit is due. How do they get the inspection? There's bar permits that are closed. So any permits during this time should be automatically suspended for 60 days after we lift up the order. Stuff like that. I think there's CDL licensing that's not taking place at the Department of Motor Vehicle. We need truckers to do these haulings, and there's people looking to get licenses because if their job is shut down, they can get a license to do something else. Well, they can't get tested. So, that's fringe stuff, but it's important stuff. So there's things like that I'd like to see. We're talking to the governor's office. They're hitting the bigger issues. And I know this isn't a huge issue for them, but those are things I'd like to see.
What role does the legislature play during this?
The leaders have gotten together. We talk every couple of days. We have another conference call tonight. We talk about what's going on, where we are, what are we thinking. We share ideas. We share problem solving. So, but the governor has all the powers of the legislature, but he's not abusing them. He's coming to us each and every time so we can weigh in and get our criticism of the issues. But the leaders, we're friends as well as leaders, and we talk quite a bit.
In terms of this legislative session, will it be rescheduled?
That's one of the things we're going to be reviewing. I don't see us, we're out of session until April 30th. The peak of the virus is supposed to be the 17th, give or take a few days, if the modeling all holds true. So then we have to see what the world looks like April 23rd, April 24th. And then I think we'll make a determination if we go back on the 1st or the 2nd. But remember that session ends the 5th or the 6th of May by Constitution. So we have that limited window after that Wednesday in May, the 5th or 6th. We cannot do anything legally. We have to be called in a special session.
Let's talk a little bit about the big news that was actually broken by our Face the State analyst Kevin Rennie of Daily Ructions and the Hartford Courant, that you are not seeking re-election in the fall. You're one of the two most powerful Republicans in the state. Why are you stepping down?
Well, it was a very torturous decision for me. I love working at the Capitol. I love what I do. But I've been there 18 years, and that's a long time. And it's time for someone else to take over, both as leader and running for state senate for the 34th district. But look, this takes a lot of work and a lot of time. And when you're a minority leader, you got to do double the effort because you've got to know every bill because you don't know which one's coming forward. And the amount of time I was spending on it just seemed to be increasing, not decreasing. The amount of time we're in session is increasing, not decreasing. With the toll issues last year, and the year before that, the budget, and the year before that, the budget and other things, we've never had a day off, particularly as leaders. And when you put as much time as I do, I don't want to say it's burnout, but it's certainly that you have to make a promise that you're going to keep that 110% commitment up. I'm not sure I can. I've got other family commitments and business commitments, and I have to now say, this was great experience. It's time to move on.
As soon as your term is over, there will be talk of who's going to run for governor in 2022. That campaign will begin pretty much right after the November election. Do you foresee yourself running for governor in 2022?
I do not. You never say never, but I would say the probability of me running is extraordinarily low. That's not the reason why I left, and it's certainly not something I am looking at. I left because I want to be more with my family and get reacquainted for the businesses and get back to a normal life. So I would say that's not in the cards for me. I'd love to stay involved in politics, don't get me wrong. If something opened up and I was ability to go back into the Capitol at some other position, I would jump at it because I love that building and I love the camaraderie and I love dealing with the issues.
Would you consider a run for Congress? Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro has been in for quite a long time. She is 77 years old. Would you be interested in challenging her?
Once again, if she retired, maybe the issue may pop up. But without retirement, Rosa DeLauro is a very strong congresswoman, very well liked in this district. I know her very, very well. She's a nice person, very well respected. It would be a difficult run. If it opened up, depending on when that happens, maybe I would take a look at it. But once again, I probably wouldn't by that point, but who knows? I leave all doors open.
Senator Len Fasano, always a pleasure to have you in the program, and please stay safe.
Dennis, you too, and thank you for having me.
We'll talk to you soon. When we come back, helping small businesses, and we welcome your comments about today's program on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.